Greetings, dear friends. Happy Monday. I trust you had a beautiful, restorative, restful weekend and are ready to step into action for this new week ahead. So, talking about stepping into action, welcome to our Mindful Motivation for Mindset Mastery session. This is our weekly check in. And if you've been here before, you know that before I draw cards, I use 4 different decks of cards to kind of help us set the stage and really see about checking in with what's right for you. What do you need to feel the rhythm and the harmony and the balance and the ease of what it is that you are intending to create? So before we get into the cards, I like to just kind of feel into what's happening with the moon. The phases of the moon really deeply impact us. In fact, it's kind of interesting because whether you know it or not, whether you're consciously aware of it or not, when you start tracking these pieces of wisdom, you start actually realizing it has been all along. So last week's feelings were all around that new moon. And now this week this is the time. So new moon is the time to sort of go quiet, go within, reflect upon what it is that you intend, need, what is the whisper of your higher self. And then when we get into this week, we are affected by the first quarter phase of the moon, and it's in the sign of Taurus. So I love this feeling of, with it being in the sign of Taurus, it's very much focused on the earth. It is in the earth sign, but it's also about like the luxury of being, the beautifulness of where you are, who you are, what environment you are in. There is beauty all around us. And the reason it's so focused on like that beautiful aspect is the ruler of Taurus is Venus. That's where that brings in that kind of aspect. Now, when you put that vibe, the luxury of being, the groundedness, the beauty of you, of the things that you're wanting to do, of your relationships, of your projects, of your relationship with you too, of course. But with it being the first quarter phase of the moon and it's starting to be us taking action on those intentions, on ideas and seeds that we planted last week. So how does that feel for you? If I say anything that in these sessions that trigger you or confuse you or you need a wee bit more support or guidance, pop it in the comments below or message me directly. These sessions are intended to kind of help you carve out and create a wee bit of space to just reflect upon how are these ideas resonating for you. And anything that doesn't resonate, discard. It's not for you. So take in the ideas and the concepts that resonate and like I said, discard the things that don't. But all that being said, so this is the time. So what I was saying about the first quarter phase of the moon, you may find when you really allow yourself to come into your heart's wisdom, which is really highly significant during these times, rather than being in your chattering mind. This is the whole piece around really accessing your inner wisdom. It doesn't come from your chattering mind. Chattering mind has an opinion, and your chattering mind is good in that we all have that. But this is a time to really just park the yeah buts and the shoulds and the saboteur and the judgy components that come up in our mind and really feel into your best rhythm. Feel into the pace that's right for you in taking those actions. We're not all wired the same way. For some of us, we need space and time to reflect upon. You've probably heard me saying this question. I'm just shuffling my first deck of cards, the letting go cards. But I encourage you, and this would be a really powerful piece to use for this week, is how does this make me feel about me? So this idea, these actions, this decision, this choice, this direction, how does it make me feel about me? Because the reason being is that this energy of the first quarter phase of the moon in the sign of Taurus may actually kind of inspire you or nudge you to step out of your comfort zone. We can step out of our comfort zone if we pause and just go, how does this make me feel about me? Well, it makes me feel a bit nervous or a little bit anxious, but when we really get into that inner wisdom, we realize it's the right choice. You know, that your inner self is saying yes, 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 but your chattering mind might be going, oh my gosh, I'm not sure about this. So just feel into that. Now, all that being said, the first deck of cards that I use is the letting go guidance cards. So that idea is like we just feel into what's going on energetically with the moon phase, and then what can we let go of in order to make those choices, to say yes to stepping out of your comfort zone maybe. And this is excellent. I always love how these cards kind of line up with what we were talking about. So the card that's come up is number 5 in this card deck, and it's your fixed idea or personal agenda. So that's totally in alignment with what I was just saying about listening too much to the chattering dialogue in your mind. You know, sometimes you might have a wee bit of an inner critic saying, oh, you can't do it that way because the last time you tried that, it failed or it fell apart or it wasn't right. But that can then create a wee bit of rigidity. This is not a time for rigidity. This is a time for flow, for trusting in yourself. So where does that come up? Do you have a fixed idea of, oh, there's no point in trying that because fill in the blank? Maybe it's time to stop that. Maybe it's time to rewrite that story, that idea, and actually just see, you know, that question, how does this make me feel about me, is a beautiful one to actually unpack that and release it and let it go. I trust that makes sense. So now, moving on, we're going to pull one tarot card, then I'm going to do 3 from the Healing with the Angels card, and we'll finish it off with one of my Liberate Your Inner Truth. Because, you know, that is the overarching vibe of these sessions that I do with you, is the intent, my big why in this is to help you become the spiritual detective that you deserve, that you need in order to access your truth. Walk forward by the beat of your own drum, which of course is your heart. So let's see what we can come from the tarot. Well, this is cool. From the tarot, it's the King of Wands. I love the King of Wands. So kings are about taking action, deciding, making forward steps. But also, being that it's a wand, it's about your big why, your purpose, your soul's calling. So this is beautiful guidance for us to sort of tap into, are these decisions, the directions, the options, are they actually fueling my purpose, my connection to my to all aspects of me, to my soul, to my core? And maybe it's time to commit to yourself that you will follow the guidance of your own intuition. Put down any fixed ideas or personal agendas or things of that nature and come into the direction of your heart, knowing that it's not always about hustling and doing and getting more and achieving more. Even though that tarot card is a masculine card, I really think it's such an important part for all of us to get into balance with our own masculine and feminine. The masculine is the doing energy within every one of us, regardless of whether we're male or female. And the feminine is the being. So how is that in balance for you, the being and the doing? Because in order to take action on our intentions and our big auspicious dreams and follow our why, we still need to have that rhythmic balance to get grounded, to enjoy the beauty and the fruits of your labor. So that's just a little nudge there for us also, to make sure that the action steps you're doing are connected with what's right for you, if that makes sense. So now, I just shuffled the Healing with the Angels cards, and this is awesome. So the first one that's come up for us is Study. I like when that card comes up for us because that really encourages us to find that rhythmic balance of being and doing, and being the observer as well as the observed. So that's actually a beautiful reflection also to say, remember that question. So that's kind of our vibe for this week, is how does this make me feel about me for everything that you do? This relationship, this decision, this choice, this direction, this project, this opportunity. How does it make me feel about me? And allow, see, that's the observer that would ask that question, and then the observed would go, oh, it makes me feel heavy or weighted down or discombobulated. And if that's the case, then maybe it's no, maybe it's not for you. So follow the ones that might give you a little bit of nervousness, but you can feel that sense of yes. So when you make yourself your focus of study, then you can then recognize the beauty and the blessings that's all around you. So that's really beautifully brought up for us this week, and will actually also allow us to find serenity, serenity of being. And so that's coming back into that what I just said, finding your rhythm, your balance, and committing to yourself to remember the being and the doing. Because sometimes we get it the wrong way around. Sometimes we say, oh, I'll allow some time for being when I've got all these things done. But maybe we need to create the rhythmic check-in so that you can really find your rhythm, because we are all different. How much you get to do is different to how much I do, or so it's like it's really this is really important time to not allow other agendas outside of you, or comparing yourself to others too. That's an important piece in all of this also, is to really, as this is us coming into wrapping this session up and liberating your inner truth. And that's kind of what this is all about. Okay, so like I said, if you need any support or further resources on anything that I've shared here today, let me know. But we're going to wrap this up. So taking a nice deep breath, let's see what the key this week, with all these beautiful energies, what's the key to liberating our truth, our inner truth? Let's see what comes up for us this week. I'm sorry, but these cards, they sometimes have quite the sense of humor, because the card that came up for us is I am inner directed, which is precisely what I was just saying, is that in order to make those choices and those decisions and filter through opportunities, you got to come in first. Inner. I am inner directed. So let me read this out to you. Being aware of myself and my actions, I stay mindful of what I do at all times. I ensure that I am living life according to my principle, my life's purpose, and what I am passionate about. That is the perfect message to really help us embrace and feel into and make best use of this first quarter phase of the moon energy in the sign of Taurus. That vibe, that I'm sure you can feel that. That's everything that I was just describing about what that energy is. So I trust this all makes sense for you, to you. I'll be back again with you next week. Much love and thanks for watching. Have a great week.